In 1897, Cheyenne was just a dusty little town at the end of nowhere. And the city fathers needed to get some economic development going. They knew that if they didn't have some business coming to town, they'd just dry up and blow away.
Hoping to keep the West alive, they created a one-day rodeo celebration and christened it Frontier Day. However, what happened next, the city fathers never expected.
When the trains came in, they were overwhelmed. The town was packed. They parked their buggies, sat up there and watched the rodeo. When this very successful day was over, the committee met again, and they said, we'll do it next year, but we'll do it longer. We'll do it for 2 days. And from then on, there's been a Cheyenne Frontier Days every year.
Cheyenne grew into a modern city, and Cheyenne Frontier Days grew with it, expanding into the largest outdoor Western celebration in the world and a destination for millions of travelers.
I think I've missed Frontier Days once in the last 15 years, and it was because there was some sort of catastrophe in the family. It's like, you don't miss the 4th of July. You don't want to miss Christmas. You don't want to miss Labor Day. Cheyenne Frontier Days is that same level.
My personal favorite is getting to meet all the people that come to Cheyenne, and not only from the United States, but also from other countries.
What is unique about Frontier Days and what separates it from every other rodeo in the world is its volunteers. Today, more than 2,500 dedicated volunteers work year-round to put on Cheyenne Frontier Days.
I've been a volunteer for Cheyenne Frontier Days for about 15 years and have loved every moment of it.
Dad brought us out here every year as kids, and then me and my brother are on grounds committee now, and we enjoy it. It's what we do.
That's just a classic example of civic engagement at the very highest level.
Why would an entire community commit its heart and soul to Cheyenne Frontier Days? One word:
history. It's the very most important thing in the world for our children, great-grandchildren, and on down the line next 100 years to know the history of the new United States and how it was settled and how the West was won.
The United States military shot off the first cannon during the very first Cheyenne Frontier Days, and we have been involved for 112 years ever since that first cannon shot.
Dancing here is a huge honor for me and my family. And if this wasn't here, then all the people that were coming to visit, say the rodeo or the Indian village, we wouldn't be able to meet one another and share with one another of what Cheyenne Frontier Days is about.
Each year, Cheyenne Frontier Days revenue supports countless small businesses and families throughout Wyoming.
Frontier Days is one of those quintessential Western events. It is part of the maintenance of the Western culture. It also gives a chance for these young athletes to try out the skills they develop, and it has a really positive economic impact on the state.
An extra Christmas is what it is, and it is tremendous impact. Numbers, I can't tell you, but it makes the difference for small business people.
Frontier Days is the second biggest event of the year for our company, which has stores all over the western United States.
In addition to protecting and preserving the Western heritage, Cheyenne Frontier Days sponsors numerous community outreach programs. The Cowboy Crisis Fund, support for the fight against breast cancer, and the Challenge Rodeo for Special Needs Children.
We focus on abilities and not disabilities. And when you're at the dirt at Cheyenne Frontier Days, everybody has a good day.
Frontier Days has always been about giving back. We've given away more than $500,000 in scholarships to over 800 recipients. It's very gratifying, very rewarding experience.
Cheyenne Frontier Days maintains a special partnership with its world-class animal athletes.
I care about my animals, bucking horses, bulls, cows, stock saddle horses, riding horses. And that's how I make my living. I don't want to see them hurt. I don't want to see any pain among them. If not for them, I wouldn't have this way of life.
Cheyenne Frontier Days is fully committed to the health and welfare of all of its animals. Care and love for animals runs through the very marrow of Cheyenne Frontier Days.
You know, there's not a thing at Frontier Days that's done that the animals are not a highlight in. Just about everything we do involves them. They're really kind of the lifeblood, the heart and soul of Cheyenne Frontier Days. Without them, we have nothing. And it's a celebration of animals and people who care for animals, people who love animals. I don't know how you could find that kind of passion for animals any more deeply held than you see here in Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Frontier Days leads the industry with a zero-tolerance policy on animal abuse.
We will not tolerate animal abuse at Cheyenne Frontier Days, period.
They eat before I eat. They sleep before I sleep. We unload, put them down, and get them all settled before you go to bed yourself.
You know, Cheyenne Frontier Days being as big as it is, I've never seen so many well taken care of animals. Just not, thanks. I mean, you can go to any pen around here and they're belly high and just hay to eat and fresh water and everything's nice and fat.
Cheyenne Frontier Days proudly welcomes members of the Humane Society to every show and has veterinarians on site.
Well, the animals mean everything to us because it's been our life for over 75 years that I've been involved with them, and I'm going to do everything I can to protect them, preserve them, and keep the West alive.
On Christmas morning, you don't celebrate Christmas until the animals are fed and taken care of. That's just always been the way it is.
When the weather is bad, they'll often bring the calves in the house, keep them alive. Freeze to death if they don't.
Years ago, Karen built a cemetery on the ranch and dedicated it to their animals.
That's how close we are to them. That's how much they mean to us. And I just think something needs to be set aside to a place to honor them.
I think rodeo is definitely an animal-friendly environment. You have to, you love the sport, but of course you love your animals first.
With some 600,000 visitors each year, Cheyenne Frontier Days is the world's largest outdoor Western celebration, capturing fans all over the world.
I'm coming since '74 or something like this, every year.
On the motorcycles, we drove all the way from Rhineland to Wisconsin.
As the people who know country music and Western riding in France, Frontier Days very famous.
The highlight of our holidays was the Cheyenne Frontier Days because you have the horses and you have the music.
Music's biggest stars, from George Strait to Bon Jovi and Taylor Swift. Cheyenne Frontier Days is more than just a rodeo. It is who we are.
I think it's our freedom that's what we're trying to keep alive.
The West wouldn't be the West without the rodeos, without the outdoors, without these athletes.
My grandfather rode. My dad rode, my uncles rode.
That's what it's all about, the heritage of the West.
We have to guard our traditions.
The West it's the heart of America.
Cheyenne is Cheyenne. I mean, this is the best.
It's the one thing they can bring the whole family to.
It doesn't matter whether they're New York, Boston, California, San Francisco, Los Angeles. If they haven't been Cheyenne Frontier Days, they've missed a lot.